Good morning, 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 good morning. Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, PT, Martinique. Thank you so much for joining us on Good Morning, Grenada. It is Tuesday, April 13th, 2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, Hot 98.5, 98.7, and all the folks joining us on the Party Grenada and Go To Fet Facebook pages. Always a pleasure to have you. Trust everybody had a restful and peaceful Monday night. Hope everybody is ready to do Tuesday again. Hope everybody is in a good mood. Just be thankful and grateful that you're in the land of the living. When the blessings go up, when the prayers go up, the blessings come down. Give thanks for life and say thank you for waking you up this morning. Your circumstances may not be 100% perfect, but you're in the land of the living and you get an opportunity to continue doing what you gotta do and continue on the path that you are on. Bless up all your whole self. It's going to be another terrific, tantalizing. Let me see if I can think of another adjective in T. Hold on, I'll think. The brain will work just now. But bless up all your whole self. Let's have a good day. It's a good day to have a good day. He's the God of all miracles. Let's give praises. Let's see what this morning's word of the day is as we start this Tuesday off. All right, as we start the day, the word of the day for today, it is drub. Drub. It's spelled D-R-U-B. Drub. It's a verb which means to beat severely, to berate critically, or to defeat decisively. Drub. Sports writers often use drub, but the term's history reveals that it wasn't always a sporting word. When drub was first used in English, it referred to a method of punishment that involved beating the soles of a culprit's feet with a stick or cudgel. The term was apparently brought to England in the 17th century by travelers who reported observing the punitive practice in Asia. The ultimate origin of drub is uncertain, but some etymologists have speculated that it may have evolved from the Arabic word daraba, which means to beat. The word of the day this morning is drub, D-R-U-B, a verb which means to beat severely, to berate critically, to defeat decisively. An example of the use of the word: the hometown team had been drubbed by the worst team in the league. Another example of the use of the word: after getting drubbed by a combined 65 points, the Warriors beat two winless teams and started to learn how they need to play. The word of the day this morning is drub, D-R-U-B, a verb which means to beat severely, to berate critically, to defeat decisively. As you go about your terrific Tuesday, the thought of the day that I want you to take, not just for today, but going forward for life. Not just for today, but for life. The thought for life is: avoiding certain people to protect your emotional health is not weakness, it's wisdom. Let me repeat. Avoiding certain people to protect your emotional health is not weakness, it's wisdom. Not everybody that you know belongs in your life. Not everybody that you know deserves a seat at your table. Not everybody that you know means you well. Not everybody that you know will bring positivity in your life. Sometimes you just need to distance yourself from certain people, friends and family. Distance yourself. Protect your emotional health. Protect your mental health. It does your body good. It does you well. Not because they name best friend or they name cousin or they name auntie, sister, mommy, daddy means they deserve a seat at your table. Sometimes you just need to distance yourself to protect yourself. So let me repeat, and I said with no apology this morning. Let me repeat it though. Avoiding certain people to protect your emotional health is not weakness, it's wisdom. It does a body good when you distance yourself from negativity. Set up yourself right. That's why I said it's for life. Because you just might meet that certain somebody tomorrow, please a lot. So it's for life. Set up all yourself. Distance yourself. It does a body good. All right, let's see what's celebrated today, April 13th, 2021. Today it is Make lunch count day. Make lunch count day. Taking a break from the workday improves productivity. That includes taking a lunch break. Leaving the office or even your desk for 20 to 30 minutes to refuel also reinvigorates your creative juices. Our brains and bodies need the daily break. When you return, you'll be refreshed and ready for new ideas and approaches to whatever your job throws your way. Sometimes it's 3 p.m. before office workers realize that they've missed lunch. So on April 13th, do not skip lunch. Whether it's salad, sandwich, or for us in Grenada, whether it's pie, baked chicken, what else, chew fish, rice and peas, whatever it is, make lunch count today. Sometimes we get carried away with the duties of the office and we skip lunch all 2-3 o'clock. We say we're hungry, but we didn't eat lunch yet. Don't skip it today. It does a body good. It helps you do what you're trying to do. It helps you with your work. Being refreshed and being earning that nutrition that you get from the food, it goes a long way. Don't skip lunch, especially today. Make it count. Have your lunch. Take your lunch break. Don't sit and chew while typing. Take a break. Relax your mind, even if it's just 20 minutes, half an hour. Relax your mind. Make lunch count today. It's not just a passing thing. It's something that helps reinvigorate your body and get the creative juices flowing. You still have more hours left in the day. Just take a break and make lunch count today, whatever you're having for lunch, even if it's just a pack of nuts and a dollar juice. Set up yourself right with lunch today. All right. Let me see. Right. So I have enough time for information. The information that I would share, just a reminder of the vaccination sites. The Ministry of Health has established various vaccination sites across the island, and this week they are at various locations. Today, Tuesday, they are at Radisson Grand Beach from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Yesterday, they were at the stadium, the team doing the vaccinations, administering the vaccinations, were at the stadium. Today, they're at Radisson. Tomorrow, please the Lord, they'll be at the stadium again. Thursday at Radisson, Friday at the stadium, Munich and Latant. I haven't seen Munich and Latant on the schedule, so those of you who are residents in those two areas, Munich, St. Andrew, Latant, St. David, that's on Friday, God willing. The vaccination teams will be there. And then on Saturday, the vaccination teams will be in La Porterie, Tivoli, and Chantymel. So take note, those of you who are thinking about getting vaccinated today, Tuesday, they're at Radisson. Tomorrow, please the Lord, they're at the stadium. Thursday at Radisson. Friday at the stadium, Munich and Latant. Saturday at La Porterie, Tivoli, and Chantymel. From 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I do not have the specific locations for the communities, but I know they are administering those vaccines at the health centers in various communities. So if I get a specific location or another location other than the health centers, I will let you know. But for now, Munich, Latant Friday, La Porterie, Tivoli, Chantymel on Saturday. Check your nearest health center in your community. All right, let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. We are still imploring on members of the public to continue to contribute to the relief efforts for our neighbors in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'll give you more details of that a little later. In the meantime, it's news time. This is Good Morning Grenada, Classic GBN Hot 98.
The situation with the La Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent continues to evolve since the first explosive eruption last Friday. Since then, the island has been subjected to constant ashfall, and thousands have been evacuated from the red zone. The residents' hardships are far from over, as Monday morning the largest eruption yet was recorded. Trelana Charles has the details.
At approximately 4:15 a.m. Monday morning, the La Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent recorded its largest eruption since the first active explosive eruption, which occurred on Friday, 9th April. Monday's eruption generated pyroclastic density currents, PDCs, which are considered to be extremely hazardous to all life in local areas. Director at the UE Seismic Research Center, Dr. Irusula Joseph, speaking on GBN's To The Point program, explained the difference between Monday morning's eruption and previous ones.
But what happened this morning was more of a Pelian type eruption where it generated not just an ash column, but it generated pyroclastic flows. And these are the PDCs that we're speaking about, the pyroclastic flow and surges. So this is hot gas and ash and ballistics that have flowed down the flanks of the volcano, predominantly on the south side and the southwestern side.
PDCs are fast-moving, ground-hugging currents of hot gas and volcanic matter, which can travel to speeds of hundreds of meters per second. She said the volcano's activity is comparable to the 1902 eruption, which resulted in the death of over 1,600 people.
The type of activity we're seeing now is similar to the 1902 eruption, but I think that what is happening now is that there's a lot more ash than was seen then, and of course ash affecting the southern part of the island. So in terms of what can happen next, more of the same type. It could be the same type of activity that we've already been seeing. This can continue to happen in the coming days to weeks.
While the situation in St. Vincent continues to develop, Dr. Joseph said there is no need for Grenadians to be alarmed about the possible effects of the La Soufrière eruptions on nearby volcanoes.
Just to reiterate that this volcanic system of La Soufrière is not connected in any way to Kikamjeni. There's a lot of misinformation being shared, and we encourage people to follow the official sources of information for correct information and not to share misinformation without verifying from the original sources.
According to St. Vincent's National Emergency Management Organization, the La Soufrière volcano continues to erupt, and explosions and accompanying ashfall of similar or larger magnitude are likely to continue to occur over the next few days. Trelawna Charles, GBN News.
These are certainly interesting times. The continuous eruption of La Soufrière volcano will be the focus of tonight's Beyond the Headlines program. Guests are none other than Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph Gonsalves, Grenada's Superintendent of Police, Sylvan McIntyre, who is presently assigned by Sedema in St. Vincent to assist, Vincentian journalist, NBC's program manager, Colville Harry, and presidents of the Grenada Rotary Club, Henry Joseph. Get involved. Have your questions prepared so that you can make your contributions via the GBN Facebook page or by calling 440-1252 during the program, which begins at 8:35 p.m. with your host, Mrs. Odette Campbell. Over the weekend, the National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, issued a statement appealing to Grenadians for assistance for residents on neighboring St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Since then, a number of groups and organizations have contributed to provide relief efforts. More in this report.
Due to the total collapse of the water system in St. Vincent, one of the prevalent necessities appealed for is water. Many individuals, clubs, and organizations have responded to those requests with impromptu donations of water on Sunday. One of those clubs was the Rotary Club of Grenada, which donated more than 1,000 cases of water. President of the club, Henry Joseph, said after hearing of the dire water situation on the island, they were compelled to respond.
The two clubs got together, hearing of the appeal that St. Vincent made. Of course, there wasn't a lot of time, for us to act, but through the goodwill of a number of persons, we were able to accumulate about 1,000 cases of water. And luckily for us, a boat was coming and arrived yesterday at 3 o'clock. So we were able to get the water on time, label them, and the boats, took them, first of all, to Canawan. And as I understand it, they should be in St. Vincent. Well, they should have been in St. Vincent at about 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Joseph said more relief efforts will be made in the coming weeks as funds become readily available.
There is one commodity that's very scarce, and that's money. So we are trying to raise some funds through corporate donations, through some friends from abroad and that kind of thing. And once we get some funds, we would be able to buy, some of the things that are needed. It's a whole long list of items, and some of them are not available in Grenada readily. But we are hoping that by Wednesday, Thursday, we should have enough funds in hand to be able to purchase some of the much needed items.
Tonya Hyacinth, a member of the COVID response team for NADMA, said given the short notice, the level of support has been commendable, even from individuals.
A short notice of call of water, we see that many different agencies are here dropping off water to be sent to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, our sister island. We also had personal donations coming through, and this we must say thank you to the general public, but we must let you know that it doesn't end here. We will organize for another transit to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What actually happened here is that Beckway Express actually came in to drop off some passengers who were trapped in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that are now being flown out of Grenada. So for us, we are happy to facilitate with our other agencies, and this now, they have agreed to take the supplies up to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So for that, we are grateful, and we are doing what we need to do as a country to respond to our sister island.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines continue to be severely impacted by the La Soufrière volcano eruption. For GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
Grenadians are being urged to be extra vigilant given ashfall from neighboring St. Vincent as a result of the ongoing La Soufrière volcanic eruption. Opposition leader Tobias Clement is especially concerned about water supply quality in Carriacou and Petite Martinique, whose residents rely on homemade forms of water harvesting to sustain their daily needs. More in this special report from journalist Kellon Bubb.
The La Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent, which has been erupting effusively over the last 6 months, experienced its first explosive eruption since Friday, April 13th, 1979. For historical context, the volcano erupted on the second Friday of April in 1979, just 4 days shy of the current eruption, also happening on the second Friday of April in 2021. The UE Seismic Research Center concluded that the current and ongoing episode is much more powerful than the previous 1901 and 1979 eruptions combined, but bears more similarities to the 1901 event. On the last episode of the Bubb Report, Grenada's opposition leader, the Honorable Tobias Clement, who is also a biochemist, articulated the risks and dangers of the ashfall on the local water supply, especially for those on the sister islands of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, who rely on water catchment tanks to augment their water needs in the dry season.
In all of the Grenadian islands, Carriacou and Petite Martinique, we harvest rainwater for drinking. And we had to ask them to disconnect the spouting because the roofs were covered with ash, and you do not want, if it rains, then that ash goes into the cistern or into the catchment area, because the water would be contaminated. It will not be any good. I would advocate, even besides COVID-19, that people should continue to wear masks. I mean, the volcano erupted, you have the ash there. You might have been hearing that people are smelling sulfur. Yes, sulfur is given off there, but it is known that sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide can be formed. And when these are dissolved in rainwater, you can form sulfuric acid, sulfurous acid. So the rain that falls in the immediate time would be acidic.
Clement is also cautioning that there may be risks to crops and other plant material due to sustained ashfall.
But much more so, we have just seen the ashfall, and we might be talking about the ashfall and it looked like sand or so. But I do foresee that a lot of vegetation will be destroyed. We're talking about crops and animals would be affected in a serious way. Immediately in St. Vincent, in Barbados, in the Grenadine Islands, you would see that some of the leaves and some of the vegetation, people, agricultural crops would, probably some of it will be destroyed.
Ashfall can have serious and detrimental effects on agricultural crops and livestock, depending on the variables of ash thickness, the type and growing condition of a crop, the presence of soluble fluoride on the ash, timing and intensity of subsequent rainfall, condition of pasture and animals prior to ashfall, and availability of uncontaminated feed and water. Reporting from Washington, D.C., this is Kellen Bubb.
And just as a quick update, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they recorded 14 new positive COVID-19 cases today from 34 samples, which means that there's a positivity rate of 41.2%. So that's possibly due to what's currently happening, but of course we'll keep you updated. 2 deaths were reported in one day over the weekend. On Saturday morning, police responded to reports of a hanging in the parish of St. Andrew, while in the latter part of the day, a body was discovered in the bushes in St. Mark. Details in this report.
Instead of wedding clothes, we now have to buy funeral clothes. The words of a shaken Jude Fraser, nephew of 42-year-old Jimmy Fraser, the man whose lifeless body was discovered on Saturday, 10th April at Diamond in St. Mark. Jude was a part of the search party which discovered his body.
Well, actually, it's me and 2 other guys that found him close to a burning tree. Well, while searching, we realized, he's nowhere to be found, so I called 911 around like 25 past 11, and I told them, put me through to the police station in my area. And then I told them, I need some assistance. We're here trying to find my uncle. He's nowhere to be found.
According to his nephew, Fraser was a man who left an indelible mark on the people he came in contact with.
So, and to see he's a guy that there's no confusion, he don't own nobody, when I tell that man, he's the coolest man I could meet, Jed. Even though we meet that man for the first time, you want to meet him again. So that's shocking all of us, we really don't know.
Jude explained what transpired on Saturday, beginning with the last time he saw his uncle up until he discovered the body.
Because when I come up, I saw him in the afternoon going to Ilan and thing, girl, and the man held him up and then because he just come by us and then I asked. Well, we didn't. My mother got the call from his girlfriend, his fiancée, and she told my mother, she's not seeing him. They calling his cell phone. They cannot get through the cell phone and things. So we decided to go to the land to look to see if he's there because he usually don't come back from the land that late. And then after we reach at the destination where his land is located in the mountain, we realized, the van is there still. The key in the ignition, the phone in the van. So, we started searching because we find that was kind of weird. We have found his body was just the tree alone that was burning. The way we found the man, how, he was a little bit too... we can't take him now because, finding your face down with a hole in your head close to a burning tree,
The young man said if he had heard about the incident, he would not have been as shaken as he is after discovering his relative in such a manner. Jimmy Fraser was due to be married to his fiancée this coming Saturday. He died 1 week before his big day. For GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
So unfortunate. The Royal Grenada Police Force say they intend to take a zero-tolerance approach following attacks on lawmen over the weekend. They deemed the incidents, which left 3 police officers wounded, as a form of disrespect for law and order.
Police have arrested and charged a St. Patrick's shopkeeper and several other persons following an attack on lawmen in River Sally in the wee hours of Saturday morning, which left 3 police officers nursing injuries. The Community Relations Department, in a statement issued on Monday, disclosed that Clyde Thomas, a 39-year-old shopkeeper of Latas St. Patrick, was arrested and charged for the offense of exposing for sale intoxicating liquor without being the holder of a liquor dealer's license. He was informed that he will be further charged for offenses under the COVID-19 regulations. Several other persons were detained in connection with the incident, and charges may be preferred against them. Police made it clear that the incident had nothing to do with the annual Saraka, which police permitted on a scaled-down basis. According to the statement issued by the police, subsequent to the permitted event, a number of individuals blatantly ignored the COVID-19 regulations and gathered at a community shop beyond midnight, the point at which a curfew takes effect. In an attempt to shut down the operation and disperse the crowd, officers were met with acts of retaliation by several civilians, inclusive of throwing of missiles and explosive sounds similar to gunshots. The roadway was covered in broken bottles and was also blocked with debris. In an unrelated matter, a resident of Dunfermline St. Andrew was taken to seek medical attention after he was attacked at a bar in Subies on Sunday. Officers who responded to the scene also faced challenges with large crowds at two bars in the area during the curfew hours. Police say they view these latest examples of disrespect for law and order as extremely alarming and intends to take a zero-tolerance approach against these emerging trends. Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
The employees of ACB Caribbean are now into the third week of consecutive daily industrial actions with no immediate end in sight. Braving the elements, which now include the Sahara dust and ash from La Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent, the workers have kept their same fervor and passion displayed in the previous 2 weeks. The GBN crew visited the workers' camp outside the bank to get the latest developments.
Around 5 weeks ago, workers of RBTT Bank, now ACB Caribbean, first initiated a walkout at about 2 or 3 p.m. daily. That action transformed into a full-day strike, which is into its third week. GTAO President Andrew Lewis coins it a workers' fight led by the Technical and Allied Workers Union, impressing that the workers know their rights and entitlements. Having exhausted all of the provisions in the collective agreement, he too, like Labour Minister Peter David, acknowledges that because the bank is not an essential service, the minister cannot mandate arbitration. However, Senator Lewis says government still has a role in resolving the issue.
I maintain that had it been in Barbados with PM Mia Motley and in Antigua, the governments, in other words, that can't happen in Barbados or in Antigua. And let's just put it there.
The union leader says they have yet to receive notice of the bank's willingness to resolve the issue.
Well, let me say we have not heard from RBC, neither ACB, but we are engaged with ACB up until Friday. We exchanged a relevant document with them that they were looking for. We gave it to them, right? But it is in ACB's interest to settle this. As you can see, customers have been complaining over and over. And there's a high possibility of a run on the bank. There's that high possibility. We have not yet called for people to boycott the bank. We have not yet done that, but our patriotic Grenadians are getting fed up. And they are prepared to give the workers the relevant solidarity that is required.
Last week, members of the Tao family lent their solidarity to ACB Caribbean workers.
No, today is just the RBTT workers, the RBC workers, right? But the spirit of the Tao members are with us. The spirit of the Tao family is with us. And they are standing willing, ready, and able at our own calling and our own choosing to do what has to be done.
Lewis says they are prepared to fight until the issue is resolved. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Many may know him as a comedian, having acted in the performing arts sector for several years. However, now he's shifting from the theatrical stage to the political stage. Come next election, constitutionally due in 2023, Vassanio Nicholas, an electrical
Introducing Color by Sissons. Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Every action we take impacts the lives of others around us. The Grenada Community Partnership Initiative, GCPI, has been working with Grenadian organizations to impact communities directly. Giving back to communities we serve is fundamental to the way we do business. And every year, more lives are touched across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. In education, sports, health, infrastructure, social services, and beyond.
Are taking pride in outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
Welcome on your blood heart so bad now. My God. A man tried to sell me. I went down here to do something. A man tried to deal me. Not this thing, man. Yeah, I wanted to deal me and tell you. Property you come out in? No, it's not that. I had to go and do something. So, what? Somebody asked me to go and drop something for it. So I go. I see the man, and I know the man tried to sell me. He want to take me soul. He damn good. Should I sell you? Good. No, you know that man does deal? No, man. Watch. I know the man does deal, but what I say is, where I went there, I expect the man try to do that there. You want to go and see your light burning. No. The man tried to deal me. You want to take me soul. Folks, let me tell you something. This Friday of Week Culture, I will tell all you who tried to sell me and what they tried to sell me for. So make sure and join us Friday on Week Culture. All you careful. You are real dealers in the place.
They should have sold you. I don't know why you're here though. You should have been sold for real.
14.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
5 things you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others, then you need to stay in a well-ventilated bedroom with the door shut. If you have to share a bathroom, then use it after everyone else. Don't share towels and toiletries, as this may put others at risk. Call ahead. If you develop symptoms such as a fever or cough, then seek advice first by calling the Ministry of Health's hotline at 538-4787 or 458-40 4787. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital, as this may put others at risk. Take care with waste. If you test positive, your waste should be double bagged and disposed of separately. Create a buddy system. If you live on your own, you can plan with friends and family to check in with each other and run essential errands if one becomes sick. Once sick, they should leave groceries on the doorstep. Why it's important. COVID-19 causes a mild illness for 4 out of 5 persons. Self-isolating will help protect the older generation and those who may have underlying health problems from getting infected.
Hey folks, you're invited to tune in to Grenada Music to the World program, hosted by Eugene Gittens on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9, Hot FM 98.5, 98.7, GBN TV, and all their social media platforms. The only totally local music program in Grenada, representing all genres of music. So it's Green's Music to the World on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on GBN with the music icon himself, Mr. Eugene Gittens. See you then.
That's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. And only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact. Wait for pedestrian to cross to the other side, then you happily continue on your journey. This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
Stomp out careless or intentional bushfires, dead out. Youths, hunters, smokers, let's prevent bushfires. Here's why.
Yeah, bushfires. The shorelands wet, crops should be bushfires. Can lead to food scarcity, threatened biodiversity, cause water shortage, water calamity. Bushfires in watersheds deplete water quality, threaten property, life and security. Bushfires set intentionally, water sanity.
Bushfires can cost millions in losses annually and are often caused by careless or intentional actions indictable under the law. Forests are life-giving. Save them. A message from the Fire Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force and the Caribbean Open Trade Support.
to Good Morning Grenada. Thank you so much. It is now 17 minutes after 7 o'clock. Thank you to those of you who are just joining us. Happy to have you. Those of you who stuck with us, thank you so much for your patience. Always a pleasure. Let's get into it. This morning, we are introducing a new series here on Good Morning Grenada, a collaboration with the Grenada Broadcasting Network and Republic Bank, and it's called Money Matters. What we really want to do is to continue educating our viewers and listeners, and by extension the nation, on different aspects of money-related matters, how to organize your finances and ensure that you're in good financial health, and giving you advice and tips on how to better your financial situation in whatever way that we can. And this morning I have joining me is a consultant, Mr. Tarlie Francis. He's our guest this morning, and he's going to help us get into what we're going to be calling how to set up your spending budget right for savings, even on a small income. Good morning, Mr. Francis. How you do, sir?
Morning, Blossom. I'm quite excited and happy to be with you this morning and your listeners. Quite well, I see, and I hear that you're doing well as also.
Yes, I'm trying my best despite the circumstances, trying my very best.
Yeah, well, straight off, I want to join with everyone else and appealing for support for brothers and sisters in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And though we're talking money today, this is a place where, an instance in which you would actually be able to find some squeezing from your own resources if you were handling your money well, to assist your brothers and sisters.
Agreed. So we're going to start to ensure that at least next time, if not this time, next time we will be able to assist our brothers and sisters with the savings. So let's go. Setting up your spending budget right for savings, even on a small income. Apart from the fact that we are not taught personal finance and money matters in school, why do most people find it hard to handle their money successfully?
Well, it all boils down to good habit and really just two things: attitude, the good attitude towards money, and good habit in using money. It is like everything else. You want to be successful, you have to put in some efforts, you have to know certain things, but the most important is the implementation. And what we find is that handling money doesn't really need any major sort of high science and complicated degrees and all that. Management in itself needs some training and experience, but handling your money successfully simply requires you to be disciplined. You have to respect money. If you respect money, it will respect you. If you don't respect money, then it means you are leaving money to control you. And when money controls you, it walks out your pocket and you don't even know when, you don't even know how. I subscribe to the saying that is money management, personal money management is 90% discipline and 10% knowledge. And here's why I say that. There are many methods and many tools and many techniques in becoming successful at handling your money, such as budgeting, for example, and ensuring that you are saving, you paying yourself first and so forth, which is easy to learn. You could learn that in 10 minutes in one day, but the difficult thing is implementing it, being disciplined about handling your money, controlling your money. If you don't take control of your money, it will control you and it will leave you broke.
Well, go ahead.
Now, there are a couple techniques I wanted to mention. For example, a simple thing like the cash envelope system that we grandmother and thing used to use, and we mother and all. You put the money for groceries in an envelope. You go in the grocery and in the village shop, you spend that, you don't spend no more. You go in town to shop for school or for whatever, you put the money that you allocate for that in that envelope. You use the envelope system. You spend that. When it finish. You make sure that you're thinking and buying only the essential things. And so there's another technique, for example, the 50-30-20 rule, which I'd like to talk a little bit in this small short segment about this morning. This is a system or a method to help you control your finances, to help you take charge of what you do with your money. And that is as important as the other fancy techniques like the rule of 76 to know how to double your money and how many years it will take, or like compounding to know that you start early and therefore your money will multiply over time, and also other methods to pay down debt fast. But all of these, knowing them is one thing, only 10% of the journey. Implementing them and being consistent is 90% towards handling your money right.
Earlier you said the reasoning with success is 90% discipline and 10% knowledge. And you also mentioned the 50-30-20 rule. What exactly is the 50-30-20 rule? How does that break down?
It sounds sophisticated, it sounds complicated, but really and truly, it's a very simple method of taking control of your money. What that method or system is, that rule says you spend 50% of your income on one set of expenses, 30% on another set of expenses, and then you allocate 20% to a third set of expenses. So what you do is that you take your income, the one that you can control in your pocket, that is after taxes and all the deductions, and let's suppose this is your whole income here in this circle. So what you do is that you allocate, you know how much money you will receive as your income, and this is for people who work and have money, but as well as those who receive whatever stipend or whatever. You take 50% of that, and that 50% you allocate to the things that you absolutely need to live, to have a dignified life, and that is a 50% that you always would have to spend because your needs are your essentials. They are the things that you literally cannot live without. So this system, this method of controlling your money asks that you spend 50% of your salary on that. In this method, there's another 30%, which will be like about that. 30% of your salary, and what you do is that you allocate this one to the things you like, the things that make you enjoy life, the things that you desire, that makes you happy, and those we call the wants. So you think about your money, you think about what you're going to spend on, and you spend it on those. And then you have another 20, the remaining 20% of your income. This is like the growth segment. You spend this on debts, so you want to pay off your debts fast, and you spend this on savings. This is where you put aside money. This is where you put aside money for future, your retirement planning. You put aside money for the target, the thing that you want to spend on in the future. Here's where you put aside money so that you're not scrunting or scrambling or taking out loans to go to your daughter's wedding or things like that. So you plan for what you want to do, and you take the 20% of your salary every month that you get it, and you put it into savings. So this is basically just in a nutshell how the system is. Sometimes we mix up needs and wants, and people don't know which is which, and that's something we could clarify as well.
So what are some of the personal things? Just break it down a bit. What would fall into the 50%, the 30, and the 20?
Great. Okay, so in the 50%, when we talk about needs, we talk about things that you absolutely cannot live without. So these are things I would say like food. So to get food, you're going to the village shop or you're going and get groceries to the grocery store. So that is food. You need to have food. Now, this is not food now being the chips and the extras that you buy. That is food too. But we're talking here needs. So you make a list of the things that you really need. Your 400 fig you're going to buy for the month. So you buy the first hand in the first week and so on. You put on that on a list. You make your list. And then you go to the store, you go to the village shop, you go to the market, and you spend on those things that you need as far as food is concerned. You also need, as a human being, your shelter. So that is housing. If you own your house already, then that's a mortgage. So you have to put your mortgage payment here. Or if you don't own your house yet, then that's your rent. So you have rent money. That's a need. You absolutely have to pay that money. So you take that out of here. So other things that would be here. What about health? Health insurance, and people like to say insurance this and insurance that, but health insurance is important. As we live in, we find we have to go to the doctor, we find we have to take this examination, that other X-ray, we have to take this blood test, and that's an essential. So that comes in today's world under needs as well. Another thing you would put there would be electricity bill, water bill. You can't live without water. You might be able to live without electricity for 2 or 3 days, but water is essential. So I would say your utilities come here too. These things sound simple, and they might be no-brainer, and people might say, well, I know this already, and so on, but unless you don't write this thing down, you don't see what it is, and you don't take control of your money. You will be in the grocery store spending on food, and as long as you did not write it down, as long as you did not prepare and plan how much you're going to spend and make sure you don't spend more than 50% on all of these together, what will end up happening is that you're going shopping and you're spending more than 50% of your income on the things that you need. So this is like the framework. And you can put an etc. here for that. In terms of the wants, we distinguish the wants from the needs because the needs you absolutely should have them. But wants here, you see generally if you go shopping, general shopping, and now you're not only buying the wardrobe that you need. And essential here would also be your wardrobe, your basic wardrobe. But you see your second pair of pants and the fifth hat that you're buying and so on, or you want to buy an additional wristwatch or a pretty bracelet different from the one that you want to go out, want to stay in and so on. All this is what we call extra. Why? These are things that you like, that's things that you enjoy, things that make you happier and so. But don't spend more than 30% on your income after the 50% on it. If not, you are not controlling your money will control you. You will go to the mall and you will do your shopping, and your money will be walking out your pocket and you don't know where it is, so you have nothing to save. That is what this framework is helping us to do, to save. Hobbies also. So hobbies also come here. Some people like golfing, so they spend a lot on golfing. Some people like cycling. Some people like gardening, and they spend on it. Make sure you're not spending more than 30% on those things that you desire. That's what this framework is about. And in debt and savings, here you should tackle things like your credit cards, right? Your personal loan, your loan to from your nenen and your loan from Tanti and so on, because you need to pay that back as well. But the idea is that you use 20% of your salary every month. You decide, I'm going to use that 20% to pay off debt faster. So not just only my mortgage that I'm paying, I'm also going to pay a little bit more, so I'll pay it off faster. Not only my rent that I'm paying, I'm going to put aside out of my 20% to be able to pay it off, to be able to put a down payment to get my house later on. That's why that 20% is important. So you see, Blossom, this is we're saying to us that this is like a simple framework, very, very simple. And you can use it to help control your money, because you will know before you spend where your money is going. This is the critical thing.
Well, it sounds easy and it sounds simple, but what would be, let's say, the first step that the ordinary person that I can take to benefit from this knowledge and to continue to let my money work for me?
You talking to me now, I saying to you this. If you were not doing it, start now. If you were doing it, continue. Try to use a system like this. Some people's salary will be so small that 50% doesn't cover all their needs. We recognize that. So each person's circumstance would require a percentage that might vary from this. A person might need to use 60 or even 70% of their salary to do this. Another person would need 40 because their salary is very large to cover their basic needs. It means that they have a larger amount to put to here rather than the 20%. So that's what you want to do. But the way to get onto it is to start now. Think about the salary that you have, that you expect. Start now, because that is what you're going to use from today to control your money. Here is what you're going to do. You're going to take a sheet of paper, you're going to take your smartphone or go on your computer, and you have one section, you're identifying all the things that you need. And you put that down, because that is what you're going to spend on it. Start now. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the next paycheck that's coming up. See if you could allocate it into this dissected circle. Half of it you spend on this. If you find 30% too much because you're in COVID, you can afford not to go out, because in the ones is also like restaurant too, dining out. There's nice things that we like and so on. It is food, all right, but you can see it is just our happiness, our joy of being able to eat out is what we satisfy in here. But we don't go to 30%, to more than 30% of your salary for all of these extras, and so that allows you to save here. So I would say, take that sheet of paper. It is for the 50%. Take another sheet or another table, it is for the 30%. And take another table, it is for the 20%. Once you begin to build that habit, you do it once, it's kind of hard. You do it twice, you might forget it this month, try it the next month and so on. Remember this program. And this series is going to run for 12 weeks. So for 12 weeks, we're speaking about how to save once every week. And so we invite you to come around, so that the next one, I think we'll do groceries, because we talk about groceries. We want to say how you could go about saving, getting out of this 20%, at the same time being able to satisfy all your groceries, including some of these and so. But that's how you start, Blossom. Start now, start today, write it down. What you have in your mind is an idea. What you have on the paper is a plan that you're going to work with. And sometimes, fellas, including, are kind of shy to walk around the grocery and walk around the hardware shop with paper in their hand. When you have phone these days, you could put it on your phone, and not be that ashamed. But the point is, you need to have it done, and you need to pay attention to it, because it is your money that you are making sure stay where it's supposed to be, and it only goes where you want to put it, where you want it to go. This is very, very important for smart money, personal money management. I want to give you a quick example. Let's suppose, for example, let's suppose after you take out everything, you have $2,000, right? All this simply means, it's quite simple. It means that 50% of that is 1,000. So you try to spend 1,000 on your essentials. Then what you would find is that leaves you with another 1,000. From that 1,000, 30% would be about $660. That is what you use for your going out, your eating out, and things that you like, your hobbies and so, and your gym membership fees and all that. And you have now for savings up to $340. You could imagine what will happen if you are saving $40 out of your $2,000, only $40. A lot of us don't even save $10 out of our $2,000, and that is what this is about, an awareness for you to see that if you use this system, you can even save $40 out or $20 even out of your $2,000 disposable income, and that over time can really be a blessing for you and your families.
I appreciate it. I'll start to write down. I think that's where part of my problem is, the writing down. I have it in here, but on paper it might be better. I'll take it yes, I'll start to do that.
And money likes when you don't write, because money knows that you don't know where. Remember, it's only $20 you're supposed to spend on this item. So you go there and you see the sale say $29.99, and the money tells you, hey, Blossom, is $29.99 for this, But you had only allocated 20. You could only afford 20, but it's a sale, $29.99. Take it.
And that's how they catch you. Money slick.
That's how you lose. That's how the money itself controls you. You lose control of your money, and you can't understand why you broke. But it's your money taking advantage of your lack of discipline or consistency, or a lack of a system like this 50-30-20 rule system to take control of your money.
We'll definitely use it. Mr. Francis, thank you so much. Like you said, this will be a weekly feature here on Good Morning Grenada every Tuesday, giving you tips on how to let your money work for you and not you working for your money. See you next week.
Happy to be here today. Happy to be. Nice to see you next week. And I hope at least next week your listeners might have sent you a little message saying, I've started doing this.
Let's hope for the best. Thank you so much, Mr. Francis. Enjoy your day.
Have a wonderful day yourself.
You too. All right. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back inside with some more on Good Morning Grenada. Put those tips into use every Tuesday, 7:15 a.m. right here on GBN Classic Hot 98 social media. We'll be giving you some tips on how to let your money work for you. Good Morning Grenada. We'll be right back.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again. At Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
Bruv. Hello? I can't see you. What's good? But I can't even hear you. Yo. Hello? Hello? Okay, I see you. I'm good. I'm coming in. There you are.
Live the experience right now. Enjoy high-quality video calling today. Stream, upload, and share with Digicel super fast LTE network. Visit our stores today and live the experience today. Digicel.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. It is now 22 minutes onto the hour of 8 o'clock. Joining us this morning is CARDI's representative in Grenada, Mr. Reginald Andall, and he's here this morning following conversations we had yesterday in relation to ashfall and its effects on our vegetation. So he's here to give us some information and hopefully answer some of the questions that our viewers and listeners had yesterday. Morning, Mr. Andall.
Morning, Blossom, and good morning to listeners of GBN.
Thank you so much for joining us. Happy to have you, sir.
Happy to be on your program. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem at all. So yesterday, in discussions and with our viewers and listeners, one of the questions our viewers had in relation to the effects of the ashfall from the La Soufre volcano relates to the consumption of fruits and vegetables affected by the ashfall, as little or as much as it may be. What can you tell us about the safety of consuming our fruits and vegetables that have accumulated ashfall, let's say in small amounts, because that's what we're really getting compared to our other islands, St. Vincent, Barbados. What about the consumption of fruits and vegetables lightly affected by ashfall?
Well, we really do not have much of a problem because the ashfall is very, very light. And so we're much better off than St. Vincent, of course, and also Barbados. Nevertheless, the basic principle is to wash off all the ash from your leafy vegetables and your fruits before cooking. Give them a thorough washing. Make sure you get all the ash off before cooking, because one doesn't want to consume any of those ashes. However, because it's very light, even though you might consume a tiny amount, it will not do you any harm, really. So we're in a good way. But as I said before, wash off everything. And well, that's for human consumption. But in the case of livestock, where you have your livestock out in the field, again, well, you may not be able to wash off the grasses and so on and the vegetation that they feed on. But what I would recommend is that you, in a case where you can give them supplemental feeding, feed that you buy from Carib Agro or whoever, then you don't have a problem, because those will be protected from the ashfall. But where the animals are grazing out in the open, then the best thing I would recommend is that you provide them a plentiful amount of clean water throughout the day, so that they can drink and wash down the ashes through the gut and out into the external system.
You mentioned being able to wash off the ash from some of our fruits and vegetables before cooking, but what about the vegetables that we would eat in its raw state, like the lettuce and the cabbage? Is it still safe to consume them, as they won't be cooked per se, but is it safe to consume it after washing it off?
Yes. Once you get off all the ash from it, it is safe because it will not really enter into the cells of the vegetables. So once you wash them off, you're good. You're good to go.
Does the amount of ash matter for us here in Grenada? Because so far, well, at least compared to St. Vincent and Barbados, we've been getting light ash fall. But let's say it's heavier because just moments ago, maybe less than an hour ago, there was another explosive eruption at Le Soufrière. This morning, the Met Office is warning of expecting more ash fall. So we'll be getting some more maybe tomorrow, please the Lord, or so. So as we get more ash fall, does it matter how much ash fall we receive or how much we get on our plants and vegetation?
Well, it does matter because if you get a very, very heavy ash fall, then the leaves are totally covered. One, the plants will not be able to photosynthesize, and therefore the growth will be retarded if that ash stays on them for a long time. And also, if the ash fall is very, very heavy, the weight, the accumulated weight of that ash will cause the plants to droop or branches or leaves to break off because the plants cannot cope with the added weight. And when the rain falls, if it doesn't fall heavy enough to wash off the ash, then that ash becomes even heavier as it soaks in the water. And therefore, that makes the weight much heavier on the plants again and will cause branches again to break off and leaves to fall. So the quantity of ash is very, very important. It matters. As I said before, in our case, we have it very light. So by God's grace, we are good. So we have to spare a thought and a prayer for the people in St. Vincent.
Is there any... Yes, go ahead.
In St. Vincent, yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
In St. Vincent, where it is very heavy, also in Barbados, from an agricultural point of view, effect is devastation of your vegetation and so on, and maybe even death of some livestock or animals. Maybe they might die from ingesting the ashes. So the immediate response, the image is negative because your ashes add nutrients to your soil. It adds fertilizer to your soil, if I may use that term. You have potassium and potassium and calcium and magnesium and so on, and you name it. So the long-term effect will be an added benefit. Your soil will be increased in its nutrient composition. So that's a rich soil. In time to come, you'll have much better plant growth. That is why you see in that red zone in St. Vincent, there's a lot of agricultural production that goes on there, bananas and so on, and quite a lot, arrowroot and tanyas, quite a lot of agricultural production goes on there because of the high nutrient composition of the soil in that red zone from the ash fall that would have come up from volcanic eruptions in 1979, 1902, and even before. So there in the long term, as I said, there's a positive effect, but in the short term, it's a negative effect and very devastating.
Is there anything our farmers...
So then we in Grenada here, although we have it very light, we will really get a positive effect.
From the
Please go ahead.
I was saying, I just lost my train. Oh, right. Is there anything our farmers can do to protect their farms, whether on a large scale or even if it's just in the backyard and on the windowsill? Anything we can do at all to protect our vegetation from the ashfall? Just pull the phone out a little bit away from your face so we can see your face. There we go.
Oh,
yes.
sorry.
That's okay.
No,
yes, that's fine. Anything farmers can do?
Well, if you are very, very small production, then you can cover your few plants, maybe your vegetables and so on, with with saran netting or maybe some plastic or the other. On a larger scale, if you have not previously had a cover over your vegetables, then there's nothing you can do right now, because to erect a cover, let's say over a small vegetable plot, takes time and it takes money. So, and again, if you're out in the open plantation, you really cannot cover those things. So there's nothing much you can do. A farmer who have overhead sprinkler irrigation can wet the plants and therefore wash off any small amounts of ash fall from those plants. So that is what the farmers can do. Maybe in the case of some animals, if the farmer has a shed where he can enclose the animals and feed them supplemental feeding that is not affected by the ash fall, then one is advised to do that. And later on, after the rain comes and wash off the grasses and so on, then you can put them back outside. But like I said before, because we are experiencing a minimal amount of ash fall, we really do not have much to be bothered about. And therefore, the likely thing and the most reasonable thing one can do is just to wash off your vegetables and your fruits before you consume them. Make sure you wash them off properly. And maybe if one is overly concerned, one can add a little bit of detergent in your wash water, and so you're lifting the ashes totally off the surface of your fruits or vegetables, and you wash off that detergent thoroughly before cooking or consuming raw.
Benefits to the soil. Ashfall, as I understand it from Dr. Joseph yesterday, the UE Seismic Research Center director, that it will take a while before we can actually see the benefits of the ashes in our soils. What are those benefits? How does it help our soil, especially with growing our vegetation, as well as how long before we can actually see those effects taking place, those benefits taking place?
Well, as the scientist has said, it takes a while. It takes a while because the ashes are basically tiny particles of rock, right? And therefore, they do not move to any great degree through the soil. So when one forks up your soil or tills your soil or plows up your soil, you'll be incorporating the ash on the surface into the soil, and that is where you get that benefit of the rock particles and the fertilizer that is in them mixing with your soil. And these are referred to also as slow release. They release very, very slowly because they don't really dissolve to any great degree. They does not go into solution quickly. So it takes quite a while. It takes maybe 6 months, a year, even more than that. And again, these are rock particles, so they're going to stay in your soil for a very, very long time. Very, very long time, quite a number of years. And so the nutrients that are in there are released slowly over time as soil moisture causes them to go into solution. It's a very, very slow process. That takes years and years and years.
And finally, Mr. Andall, does the length of time that the ash stay on the fruits and vegetables matter as well? Because if it's, let's say that we have ash fall today, should I wash it off immediately? Or even if I leave it for 2 days, it won't make a difference? Does the length of time that the ash is on the fruits and vegetables, does it matter?
The length of time matters mainly in terms of the amount of ash that is on the leaf or the fruit. If you have where it's very thick, so you have total coverage, so that sunlight doesn't get into the leaf to photosynthesize, then you need to wash that off almost immediately, so the plant can get back into some sunlight, and the leaves can breathe also. So the natural photosynthesis, the natural process of life of taking in oxygen through the leaves and releasing carbon dioxide and so on goes forth. So if it is very thick, so the plant cannot cannot go through these natural processes, then those leaves are going to die, and the fruits also are not going to continue growing. So like I said, where it's very thick, then you have to remove it off as quickly as possible. We are not experiencing that degree of ash fall in Grenada yet for that. So we can respond right now a little slower. Take some time, maybe a day or two before we wash them off, and we'll be safe.
So it won't necessarily, for lack of a better phrase, it won't necessarily poison us if the ash stays on the fruit for like 3 days or so. It's just to ensure that it doesn't damage the integrity of the plants or the fruits and vegetables. Okay, understood.
No, there's no poison. There's no poison involved there. None at all. Any poison would have gone off in the gases up into the atmosphere way back in St. Vincent. So these are rock particles, normal soil particles, as it were.
All right, good to know. All right, any final words, Mr. Andall? Thank you so much. Any final thoughts? Advice for farmers or consumers?
Well, thank you so very much. Well, the thing is, there is the negative impact in St. Vincent is going to be felt in Grenada, because we have that weekly shipment of coconuts and potatoes and yams and so on from St. Vincent coming into Grenada. So that will be curtailed for a while. So that's the negative effect of that. The positive effect is to make our local population realize that we have to be self-dependent to a much greater degree and plant more of our own local food. And not just plant more, but consume more of our own local food, because we have quite a large amount of local food, which we don't really consume that much. For example, root crops like cassava, we have a lot of cassava, which is consumed in very small amounts. So we want our population to consume much more of our local foods. And so the negative impact of not having some of those things coming out of St. Vincent right now will also create a positive effect on our people in Grenada, as we realize, well, hey, we need to do more in terms of producing what we can use, and also consuming what we do produce.
On an average, how much of those foods do we import from St. Vincent?
Well, I do not have the figures for that. I honestly don't have the figures for that, but I do know we import yams and sweet potatoes and coconuts, especially coconuts, the oil coconuts, not the water nuts, the oil coconuts. We have been importing a lot of that for people who want to make oil and other soaps and so on. And even for cooking too, some of that is being used. But I don't have the import figures.
No problem. I'll see where I can source them. Well, Mr. Andall, thank you so much. I'm sure you've alleviated the concerns of some of our viewers and listeners, so I appreciate your time this morning. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.
Thank you so very much, and goodbye to you and our listeners.
Have a good one. That was CARDI representative in Grenada, Mr. Reginald Andall. We thank him so much. Just by way of information, the latest, or should I say today, marks the 42 years since the last eruption of the La Soufrière volcano. It was on April 13th, 1979 that La Soufrière last erupted this explosively. And according to a post on the UE Facebook page, she is commemorating her own anniversary with another explosive episode. Another explosive eruption happened at La Soufrière this morning at approximately 6:30 this morning, and the eruption continues. During the weather broadcast at 7 o'clock, which only our radio listeners heard, our viewers missed it, the meteorologists have advised that with this morning's explosive eruption, we can expect some more ash fall in the coming days. She did say, however, it may not be as heavy, of course, as St. Vincent and even Barbados are experiencing, but we can expect some ash fall in the coming days following this morning's eruption. Activities continue at La Soufrière. The relief efforts continue as well. The collection point for NADMA, or NADMA's collection point for relief efforts for St. Vincent, is at the SSU, Camp Salines, on the Morris Bishop Highway leading to the Morris Bishop International Airport. That's the collection point for the SSU. However, other organizations are organizing. The Rotary Club is organizing as well. That's what comes to mind immediately. The Grenada GCNE, Nutmeg Association, is organizing a presentation this morning as well for relief efforts. Somebody was inquiring about individual ways of shipping supplies to family members. I am not certain. What I've seen people do is go through NADMA and put the name, possibly the address, or maybe the shelter that the person is staying at the moment. You can put their name on the package. I've seen some packages like that, but it's going through NADMA, so you can always contact NADMA. That's my first point of relief efforts. The National Disaster Management Agency, that's part of their efforts, so that's who I come to mind first in these instances. However, if you know of individuals, if you know of other organizations doing the same thing, feel free. But that's what first comes to mind, NADMA. Okay, so if you want to get in touch with NADMA and see how you can organize with them, if you want to get packages to specific people, you can do that. It's now time to get ready for the BBC's 8 a.m. newscast. Have yourselves a safe and productive Tuesday. Continue to lend your assistance, your support financially. Supplies, water supplies, they're in need of bottled water. They're in need of hygiene kits. Any way that you can assist. I believe the financial account has been set up again through NADMA if you want to donate financially. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Let's now join the BBC for the 8 a.m. newscast. Bye-bye, everybody.